Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Sabano International. That was my elder schoolmate, Ayoroy Macaulay, and his group, Sabano International. Sabano. That means this land or this place belongs to all of us. Once again, I'm back, my people. I've been away for some time because I had other issues to take care of. I'm a very busy man. I am one of those people making himself. I am made already, but I still have to continue to work to make myself. I'm not one to go into politics or whatever for the sake of making money, because I don't believe you can make money that way. Monies are made, wealth is made from translating ideas into profitable goods and services, not by going into politics or whatever. Politics is a service. If you want to go into it for the sake of the service, I was in it. 2011, 2018, I was in it. It was a service I rendered to the Lindos municipality. Now, let me go and do what I have to do for myself. Today, I'll be dual. I'll be partly English, partly Creole, because this is a very important topic. It has been in the works for some time, but I have not had time to come and discuss it. And well, of course, from the time I decided I should come up with this topic on superiority complex and how that disturbs the cohesion in development in Sierra Leone, a lot had happened. I would not be able to discuss everything today, but I'm sure I'm going to touch here and there, bits and pieces, because all of them are connected, or all of what is happening in Sierra Leone today are connected to this very topic I want to discuss or talk about today. The issue of class, the issue of people assuming they are above others, and how that affects society is what I'm talking about today. Yes, of course, we know the world we live in has been made into a class and non-class world, rich and poor world, truth and lies world, etc., etc. But what if I ask you that 90% of what you were told is not true? Would you believe that? What if I ask you that there are no classes of people? It's just an illusion built by some people to make them look better than others. Would you believe that? Well, of course, I'm not forcing you to believe or not to believe. That's not the issue. The issue is mankind as a living animal. Mankind as the animal with the greatest intelligence up to this point in time. We don't know if there are other animals we are not known about that are as intelligent as us. We have a commonality, which is we have to live together, we have to work together, we have to think together for us to make progress. All the rich men you hear of on earth today, they would never have been that rich if they were alone on planet Earth. They would never. They would never, because if Steve Jobs had his Apple designed and made, if there were no people to buy, then he would not have been Steve Jobs. If Bill Gates came up with his Macintosh, with his Windows system and all the other ancillaries that he's produced over time, if there were no people to buy, then he would not have been rich. The same applies to everybody. So it simply put, it means we need each other. We have to live with each other. So tell me, how does this fit into this mentality of superiority? Somebody being better than others, somebody thinking they are better than others. Those who think they are better than others, can we export them somewhere where they would live all by themselves and see what happens? Okay, let's come home. Let's come home. Let's come to Sierra Leone. Let's come to Sierra Leone. How does this play into our national dynamics? Since 1961, Sierra Leone has been a society just coming from the woods, I would say, if I can put it in a very gentle way. Because as of 1961, I am sure we are not even coming from the woods, we are still in the woods. We had basic infrastructure, we had basic rudimentary education meant to produce clerks and administrators. We had, of course, a medical system that was able to accommodate the population we had then. And it was like everything was good because nobody cared about whatever was happening. Everybody was looking at how to enjoy life. 61 years down the line, we are worse off. Why? For several reasons. But the key of these several reasons is that we have not been able as a people in 61 plus years to come together and find a common ground that will allow everybody to feel part of the society and to be appreciated by the society. What we've done instead is that within this period, we created distinct classes, few having it all, thinking they are better off, telling the big lie that they were blessed by some God who is as idiotic as them. And the majority live in a poverty and abeyance. This is because we have encouraged a kind of social system that is not good for us. Yes, we can have classes. We can have classes. No doubts about it. Nobody is saying nobody should not have the ability to have more purchasing power. Nobody is saying nobody should not have the ability to live the good life, if that is what you consider as class. Because what really class is different from what we call class. Class is not a material situation. It's not a material situation. It's a status based on integrity, trust, and ethics. When you can maintain those, then you have class. If you cannot, even if you have a million private jets, a million yachts, etc., you are still classless. And we see a lot of it going on in Sierra Leone now. A lot of it. There are people who even we consider to be educated who are classless by the way they behave, the way they talk, and the way they interact with society. But this or these notwithstanding, we see people creating syndromes and clans of superiority. And the worst part of it is that this has eaten into our politics. People go into politics as poor men who could not even afford to eat a meal a day. The minute they get in there, they think they are different from the rest of people. They are superior. So they can come and talk to people anyhow. They can do anyhow and go scot-free. These are the things that are holding us back. These are the mental situation, the social psychology that are holding us back. And these are the issues some of us will discuss. The issue of who is doing this or doing that, it's all a product of the way we think. It's a product of the way we perceive what we are and who we are. If we have a president who understands that he is not different from the people, he is only there because he has been privileged to have the trust of the people, we will see it in his behavior. But when you have a president who thinks he's juju or Moriman or whatever contraption he thinks is responsible for what he is, then that person cannot be trusted, and he does not trust anyone. And so what do we have? We have a protectionist situation that builds up. And it's because he wants to protect what he is not sure about, because he doesn't have the confidence to be who he is. That's why we see when people get into power, they become different. They act as if they are gods. They should bully people. If we have been in that 61 years and we have not seen profits from that, don't we think it's time we begin to look at ways and means of changing this? This assuming class, I better pass you, Udana you. Don't you think it's time we begin to look at ways and means of changing that? Will it not be to our advantage to try another system wherein we give everybody a chance to be part of the society? 61 years after independence, we've had a class society. We've seen whatever we have seen happen. Let me see now. This is wrong sharing. Whatever we think we have seen happen has happened, and yet still we don't see progress happen. Why? Because we have built a class system that cannot allow us to make progress. We have built a class system that does not bring us together, it only divides us. All this issue of regionalism, tribalism, etc., they are products of this nonsensical superiority complexes that we have. And The most disheartening part of it is that this attitude, this perception, and this norm is built by our universities. As a small boy, I was fortunate to have been in a family where the parents are transferred year in, year out, or once every 2 or 3 years from one town in Sierra Leone to another. So I know the whole of Sierra Leone, the whole of Sierra Leone. I know the whole of Sierra Leone. I have lived with people in every town and city in Sierra Leone. And I know a lot of villages in Sierra Leone. I never, ever experienced the issue of this being a Fulani, that being a Creole, that being a Timini, that coming from Northern Province, that coming from Eastern Province, or that coming from Southern Province, until I went to university in 1975. And up to date, it's still an issue in our tertiary institutions. If a nation that requires people, or a nation that needs people to stick together, to work together, think together, can afford the luxury at its tertiary institutions to have clubs and cliques that promote divide in the nation, then we must ask a question. Are we really a serious people? Are we a serious people? This book, this manual you see on the screen, is the product of a research done by a Zimbabwean, somebody I know personally. He did it for his master's thesis and later decided to make it into a book. He did an extensive research on the history and political economy of Sierra Leone. He came up with facts, which I have proven also myself, that since 1924, when the Ransford-Slatter constitution was taken into the provinces for the Westminster type of politics to be practiced or begin to be practiced, a serious fissure took place because a fiction, a fraction, between those who think they are in the ruling class or coming from chieftain houses, and those who have Western education who are not from the ruling class or from chieftain houses, could not find a common ground to practice this Westminster politics, which is different from the traditional politics. That was where it all started. A third group of people who were in the minority, the Creoles, were more or less totally removed from politics in Sierra Leone because of their numbers. Since then, we've seen wobbles, tumbles, ups, downs, all because of a dormant but very strong and persistent class conflict that we have in Sierra Leone. Even now, as I'm talking. Most of those in politics may not understand that their actions are being controlled by that remote subconscious memory. They have been tuitioned that they are better off because they come from this class, they come from that school. It is all lies. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's all the factor or the factors that are holding us back. There is nobody on this earth. You may be rich. You may be richer. You may be in some big office, but your humanity is not better off than the others. Even with the beggar and the homeless, your humanity is not better off than them. Because each and every one of us has a design and a print that makes us all the same. We are members of a cosmic existence. We are members who can be considered to be cells within a whole body of cosmos that is intelligent. However, we have not understood it this way because the schools we were put through, the education we were given out of the schools, the cultures we were introduced to, all of them told us of a class that existed. So it's now part of our acceptance that, oh yes, I have to belong to a class. A lot of people die out of stress because they want to belong. They will go all out to do what maybe they have not properly sat down, thought about, and planned because they want to be. I want to be. I want to belong. What the Creole say, falamakata. Being in a class is good, but being egoistic and being controlled by an ego of superiority is not good. And this is what is holding us back. You can be in a class. There's nothing wrong about being in a class. Everything has to belong to a class. And as I said before, a class has to come to be controlled by certain forces. Your integrity, your ethics, and of course, the amount of trust you will build with others and others build with you. That is what gives you class, not how much SUVs or whatever you're riding. That's not class, that's just affluence. Affluence is not class. Being affluent is good because it makes life maybe comfortable. And maybe overuse of affluence can be a disadvantage because it makes you grow fat. You begin to have heart problems. You have diabetes, etc., etc. And by age 50, 55, 60, you are dead. So, whichever way, there is a good side, there is a bad side. But for a country, and especially a country like Sierra Leone, with so much potentials, so much in waiting for us to develop, this class conflict has to be put on check. If we don't, then let us continue to enjoy what we enjoy now, which is poverty, disease, and everything. I would now change and go into Creole. Maybe pull them today. I can't for talk to now. I don't do half the time. I mean, they talk in English, the bad English wasabi. I try for broken down, they not be too hard or big for make all my understand. Today, I dey talk about that you will call class. Of course, class in every society. We know that. But the question we want to ask is, this belief we get say some people learn better past other people. Is correct? Is correct for we? For a country we want develop? Who say every brain matter, every muscle matter? Class or I don't know how I go call them because they get several words them for them. Several words they par with local languages. The Madingo man then they say Kamarimba. We make Kamarimba that they should say show class. But of course that means affluence. Again, they should say you get material things. A country we need for make the people all unite. A country we need for make the people all think together. For make things work. If that country they begin distinguish between this na this class, this na from this region, this na this school, that na from that school. I not think say that they help you, honestly. And when you look we country, get so much potentials. Like just show na something. The potentials we Salon get. Salon get so much potentials. Sierra Leone is supposed to be the richest country in Africa. I've not seen this thing. Okay, no problem. Sierra Leone is supposed to be the richest country in Africa because if we now look at the map we I put na the Facebook screen, but I been they make the advert. That map and that diagram, they don't tell we everything we need for know about we country. We there on the Atlantic at a point where you dey reach any major city 6-8 hours, even up to Bergen near Usade. If you fly direct from Freetown, now 7 hours 45 minutes. Down to South America, Argentina, you can do almost the same time. To Cape Town, to Durban in South Africa, to Nairobi in Kenya, to Cairo in Egypt. You did run within that time there. Then we get the largest natural harbor in Africa. We get a population where the young one them then constitute about 55%. That means the one that were able to think and walk, then boku pass we on the carriage. And that means if we get the correct system, we all they think together and work together, we able use denting and data we advantage and build a superior workforce. The human resource we go build up to a level where go be a superior workforce. We go attract investment. Because this is what investors want. Not your gold, your diamond. They can get it from anywhere. What they want is security of investment. One. Two, labor. Labor now the most expensive factor of production. If they can get it cheap anywhere, they will go there. If we have people with technical and vocational skills, a lot of people will go and invest in Sierra Leone because they know they will be paying less in Sierra Leone per capita as compared to the country they are operating now. And we have the harbor. The harbor can accommodate industrialization. The harbor can be a hub for a train system or a railway system that will go as far inland as Niger, Mali, Bamako, Niger, etc. We are not looking at these things because we have allowed our superiority complexes to overcome our thinking. Everybody they make class, everybody they make posh. Idiots, all of you. Idiots. And some of you had the audacity to come to social media and complain. Complain about what? You have everything in front of you, but you are not using this. You make God makan, God don't put and they oh jealous who? Jealous idiots. Or do people think that money is what you grab? The cash is what you grab, is what money is. Money is made from thinking. When you turn your ideas into profitable goods and services, then you are creating wealth. If you cannot do that, and you want to be grabbing money because you see it around, then you're an idiot. And I will not be afraid to say it to anyone. You're an idiot. It's time we stop this idiocy in Sierra Leone. Everything that we do is idiotic. Politics, economics, everything. Because either we don't understand what we were taught in schools and universities, or maybe we are just being recalcitrant and lazy. There is so much in Sierra Leone, so much to be developed. But because of this nonsensical superiority complex, which was developed in 1924, which led us to a stupid war, and which is now resurfacing as an ugly, very ugly, divisive force, which may take us to another conflict. That's why Sierra Leone, a country that is supposed to have been the richest country in Africa, is still wallowing in poverty. And we are not even ashamed to go to South Korea that have no minerals. A country which in 1958, 59, 60, 61 was a broken nation, but which used their human resource capacities to become industrialized. We are not ashamed to go to Vietnam, a country that was at war up to 1976, 77, which was more broken than South Korea, but has today stood up tall because they have used their human resource capacities. Instead of breeding peace in the land, every day you will hear of something that is further dividing the country. It's only idiots that behave that way. And I, Mohammed Boijalo Jamboria, will not be afraid to say it to anyone because I don't need you. I don't need your jobs. Maybe you need me. Maybe you need my abilities. Maybe you need the resources that I'm capable of mobilizing. But I don't need you. It's high time we begin to call things by their correct names. This issue of superiority, this issue of unnecessary ego has to stop in Sierra Leone. Hey, una not better past nobody. I like you get PhD or whatever. You not better past that bigger man. Some of we, they tell they go back na salon. Na yonto and comfort of back who go they wear the pass that treat. Simply because we don't want to make ourselves look better off. We want to have the people to work with us so we can mobilize resources. It's time. It's time we begin to say that. Whoever that is not right for, pack your bundle and leave. You did not inherit Sierra Leone from your father. You did not. Whatever you are today, you are there on the privilege and the goodwill of the people. You were there. You were taken up there, appointed or elected to serve the people. When you're there, put that your foolish ego down, work for the people, work with the people, and walk by the people. You are not there because some foolish God was so partial that it is only you should be there, others should be your servants. Because that's what most of you believe. That's the idea in your medulla oblongata. Thinking, now God mark this for me, I get blessing. Who told you have blessing? Maybe you are a cursed person. You maybe went there for the rest of the people to see what they have been doing wrong. That does not make you blessed. Maybe you are cursed. Maybe you're cursed so much that you're there to go and pay some price, some retribution. Maybe you're there to fulfill a karma of something that was done in the past. So don't go thinking you are blessed. Just do what you have to do. If you do it right, the people will know it is being done right. If you do it wrongly, they will know it is being done wrongly. But just do it. Do what is right and leave a legacy. If not, move off. Move off. Sierra Leone deserves better. Sierra Leone deserves better than we're giving her. I will end it here today.